Hello, I'm keeping my promise. The short, the little YouTube short said I would get on in a few minutes. That was hours ago, but I'm a woman of my word, so I'm here. And thank you for following the countdown so far. 22 more days before I sell everything and move abroad. And yes, in this broadcast, I'm going to tell you where I'm going, and I'm going to tell you how I came to decide to be an expat or expatriate, which just means living in another country than the one that you have citizenship in. So migrant, it's a synonymous with migrant. But why at over 60 would I decide I wanted to live outside the US? Well, I'm going to answer some of those questions, and I decided to do it as a video rather than a live broadcast. First, because it's late at night. In fact, it's the wee hours of the morning. It's probably, oh, I can see it. Oh my gosh, it is 1:20. But I want to keep my word. And tomorrow I will be, or later on today, I'll be quite busy. So I did want to thank you guys for uh, following the shorts. Oh, please like, subscribe, and comment. Just let me know making these videos are worth it, because it does take some effort and time. And I spent the last hour or so trying to decide what I would discuss with you tonight, because of course I can't go over everything that's involved that got me to this point. But I'll start at the beginning. Why would I, after being over 60 years old, decide that I want to pick up, sell everything, and move abroad? Well, I enjoyed international travel when I was employed. And somewhere in the back of my mind, I thought, oh, it might be fun to move abroad or visit long term when I retired. But that was a long time ago, and I had forgotten about that until it was rekindled when I started watching, came across, and got hooked on watching women, black women, the age of my adult children, who were living and working abroad and thriving. And I couldn't come up with a good reason why I couldn't do the same thing. Not work, don't want to work, retired, did my time, want to enjoy retirement. But I started watching them, and I started commenting until I was finally challenged by Stephanie Perry. Yes, I'm calling you out. Challenged to start my own group. And so I did. I started my own group, Facebook group, and this YouTube channel. And the Facebook group now has over 2,500 women. Yay, yay. And that's an announcement, because we hit over 2,500 today. So shout out to 60 plus Black women expats. We are now 2,500 plus strong. And that's Black women living all over the world. My group is not focused on a particular location. It is more focused on our age group. And I did that on purpose. So there's some wonderful Facebook groups out there and YouTube groups that focus on a particular area. There's Black expats in Panama. There's African Americans Part 2 in Ecuador. There's black families in Oaxaca, Mexico. So that's all great. And a lot of those are members of my Facebook group. So I have women in there that are Africa, Brazil, Australia, China, you name the country, and there's probably representation in that Facebook group. And I'm so proud and so excited. And the reason that I have this channel is because we need more than a Facebook group. I mean, how are people even going to find out about the Facebook group if there's not a YouTube channel that tells them we exist? Okay, so that's my shout out and celebration to the Black sisters or Black women of 60 plus Black Women Expats group. Now, the group is comprised of women who are already realizing their dreams of living abroad. Some have lived abroad, oh my gosh, 6, 8, 10 years. And it's not, even though the name says 60 plus, just like the YouTube channel, it is not, I'm not bound to that. It was just to identify the focus. The focus is retirees. We are not looking to become digital nomads. We are looking to live abroad without having to work unless it's our choice. And so, because our age group has special needs, because when you're over 60 and you've lived a full life, you're usually on some type of medication or some kind of care or diet or whatever. Uh, you want to be, community is very important to us. Um, we want advice from people who look like us, who are walking the walk, who are already there. And so a lot of times when it's a digital nomad, a younger generation, they may be going because of employment or just for adventure. And if they find other people there, their race or whatever, that's fine, that's cool, but that's not a really strong need as it is for us in the retirement age. We want community. This is a time when we're empty nesters and we've worked hard. We've put everybody before us first all our lives, and now it's time to focus on us. So how did I come? So that spark was regenerated, that I could live abroad, and there was nothing stopping me. Yes, I have children. Yes, I have grandchildren. And as I told, and I have siblings. So there's a strong bond and tie for me to stay right where I am. But how would that benefit my family if I didn't go abroad? I do more for them by living abroad because now I'm the trailblazer. I'm the one that they can come and visit, and they don't have to worry about an Airbnb or hotel costs. Um, and they can come and scope it out because I suspect there's others in my family that wouldn't dare mention it, but kind of were curious about living abroad, or not just family, but friends. When I made my announcement, not of this particular trip, but of my first, what I call boots on the ground, where you go to a foreign country and stay longer than vacation time. You stay longer than a week or two. And I did that last year. I was in Puerto Vallarta for 35 days, 35 wonderful days, even though it was their rainy season, their off season. That just made it more affordable. And I'm no stranger to rain because I'm from Beaumont, which is right on the Gulf of Mexico. It rains all the time, hurricanes, tornadoes. I grew up with that, and mosquitoes. So I had a wonderful time in Puerto Vallarta, but it didn't, and I'll visit again, and I made friends, but it didn't feel like home. So I kept doing my investigation. Now, regardless of your age, you want to do your research. I'm not running away from the U.S. The U.S. is my home. I'm an American and I love America. I'm not giving up my citizenship. I don't have to give up my citizenship to live abroad. Uh, and I know for a lot of the savvy viewers, you're going, yeah, I know that. But there are people who don't know that, who are viewing, and they think, oh, well, I don't want to give up my citizenship. You don't have to. Uh, and I don't suggest you do. In fact, you have power in that passport because it's a U.S. passport. It is welcome in the majority of countries that you go to. And that is not the case for all countries. There are some smaller countries and larger countries that their visa will not give them entrance into another country without jumping through a few hoops. So, because I am a U.S. citizen, my passport has power to get me into the countries in this world that I want to visit and I want to see. So, not giving up my U.S. citizenship. Now, one of the concerns was having communication with my family, with my grandkids, with my siblings. Well, there's Wi Fi everywhere. And in most places of the world, the Wi Fi is excellent. In some places, it's better than it is in the US. So I can stay in communication with them as well as come back and spend time because that same airplane that takes me overseas will bring me right back home. So that's that wasn't always the case. Remember when we used to pay for long distance calls, and now it's just part of our cell phone plan. And so now internationally there are different plans. It might cost a few cents, but then there are apps like WhatsApp and Signal and Google Voice that are applications that let you speak to your loved ones over Wi-Fi, and is no cost. There is no phone cost, and so that wasn't always the case. So, because of the technological advancements, you can stay in contact with your family. You can, if you're an Apple person, it's FaceTime. If you're not, uh, there is Google Meet and there's Zoom. There's just all kinds of ways to stay in touch, and that's really important. Okay, so I am an empty nest. I am single. Uh, and so it's easy for me to make a decision. I don't have to check in with anybody. It's important for me to make sure that my family, my friends, my loved ones are aren't worried about me. I won't say comfortable because I cannot control how someone feels. But I can give them information that will hopefully not cause them any stress uh, about is it safe, is it affordable, um, just will my needs be met? Will I be able to not only live but thrive there? And so you do research, and I started doing the research. The boots on the ground was some of the research, but even before that, um, once the group started growing and growing, because I do want to make the point that this is a movement. It is a movement. There are tens of thousands of black people moving and living abroad, every age group. And I suspect, don't have the facts, that seniors, retirees, are a very large percentage of those who are starting to move abroad. And I say that because after creating my group, that is mostly seniors. Now we have people in their 40s that are in there because they say we're a rowdy group, and we are. We're a rowdy group, and nobody can control us at this age. Uh, we've seen and done and experienced a lot of things. We know what we want, and we go after it. And so you have younger people that come in and just hang out in our group and ask questions about their future. And so it's really been a pleasure to start this group and discover that there were thousands and thousands of Black women, men and women. Okay, there are men and women living and thriving abroad. My focus is on the Black woman because I am a Black woman. I've been a Black woman all my life, so I have the most frame of reference there. But no, I wanted a community that included men, women, singles, married, whatever. That was one of my priorities in choosing the place I'm going to in a few weeks. In fact, 22 days. Yeah, I say that. It's still not real uh, that I'm going to be there in 22 days. But I'm moving forward, and I'm very excited, and I'm very comfortable. I'm not afraid. There are periods of time when you make a life-changing move like this where you are afraid. And I'm sure I will have a couple more panic attacks, but they don't last if you've done your homework and you've made connection with people. Um, because of the group that I have, I've been able to connect with people in the countries that I was considering. In my particular uh, situation, I'm not looking to settle in one place yet. I'm in good health, reasonably sound mind, and so I want to move abroad and see more than one place. I want to live in more than one place. So, but you got to start somewhere, and so I did. And the first part of my research was, of course, the YouTube channels, and there are many out there, and then the Facebook groups, and there are many out there, and then the magazines, the electronic magazines, the paper magazines. There are organizations like Earth Awaits, International Living, that are dedicated to give you the information on the climate, whether it's a republic or a democratic country, if it's peaceful or if there's an uprising, if your race, my particular race of Black people, are welcome in that country, because racism uh, is real in the U.S. and in other countries. And I eliminated some because it's like, nah, I don't want to. I don't want to make my situation worse than what it is. Why would I go to a country where the Black expats, migrants, or even the Black indigenous are not treated well? The darker skin are not treated well. So that was a consideration. And also, and I made notes because it's late. It was important that I went somewhere where I could have access to good health care. Health care in the U.S. for seniors, well, really for everybody, um, is a challenge. It's a challenge to good health care here. And unless you have broadened your scope, you think, oh my gosh, the U.S. is just the best health care, and we don't mind paying an arm and a leg to access that health care. That is not the case. that is that is not a fact. That's propaganda, and because your scope is here, but in terms of the quality, accessibility, and cost, the US is way, I think we're in the top 25, but I'm not sure. I believe we're in the top 50. I'm comfortable with saying that. And of different global indexes, um, we're probably around 27. I'm not swearing to that. But I started there because I don't want to go to a country where healthcare is more costly, where I have to jump through hurdles to access proper health care, regardless of the cost. If it's cheap, but I have to wait for weeks and months to get the care that I need. I don't care if it's cost less. I want it to be both affordable and accessible, and I want the doctors and the facilities to be state of the art and better than what I can get here in the U.S. And the U.S. has a great healthcare system and great doctors and great facilities. I'm not putting my country down, but I am saying it's not the best. And that is a fact. That's not a put down, especially when it comes to affordability, because our medicine and our medical practice is largely controlled and tied into the capitalist system, the and that's not the case with most civilized countries. That is not the case. Being a citizen or even a resident in that country, you are guaranteed access to affordable, accessible health care. That's not the case here. I don't know when it will ever be the case here. I do know how long it took to get the Affordable Care Act. Uh, and I'm not holding my breath, and I'm not getting any younger. And so I wanted to go where and there is factually a stigma, or when it comes to black females and medicine in this country, we're often ignored when it comes to research and sometimes treatment. And so it was relatively easy for me to find, oh my gosh, a dozen or more. Like I said, if we're number around 27, that means there's about 26 other countries that have better health care, more affordable, more accessible, and the quality. So I've said a lot about healthcare because the over 60 group, that's important. So I checked out my choice, checked out healthcare. Is it safe? Because anytime you go outside the U.S., your friends and relatives want to make sure, especially if you're going to Mexico or Colombia, Brazil, or just far away. Uh, the question is, oh, are there cartels? And I don't laugh to belittle that question. I laugh because the reports of other countries, they give warnings to their citizens about visiting the U.S. because everybody has a gun. Everybody has access to a gun. At 18, access to assault weapons, assault rifles. That's not the case in the rest of the civilized world. And so right now, the U.S. is one of the most dangerous countries to live in because teenagers literally can get teenagers, the mentally ill, criminals, if there's no background check, it's just a free fall when it comes to acquiring weapons. And so it is quite easy for me to go to another country and not just feel safer, but is safer. There are countries and cities where they haven't had a murder in years. That and we hit the record of, I think, having over 300 to 600 mass shootings third year in a row. But this is not about leaving my country because I don't feel safe. Because I do. I feel safe here. I'm cautious, but I was not going to give up the opportunity to see the world and not compromise my safety. So, healthcare, safety, um, freedom. I am a Christian. I am not going to take up residence in a country where I cannot practice my faith. So that's something that a lot of people assume because they're a visitor that they can practice their religion. But there are some places in the world where uh, you don't have freedom of religion. America, again, is want to be a Christian nationalist or whatever. Anyway, uh, there are places in the world, many places in the world, where you can practice your freedom of religion. That's important to me. Funds, cost. Ah, that's a big one. Can I afford to live there? Usually at our age, unless we, usually if you're married, you may still be in the family home. If you're single, usually you've downsized, and I've downsized. Um, and for the first time, and almost in the first time since college, was a renter the past 6 years. And I've seen my rent increase by $100 every single time my lease renewed. My Social Security hasn't increased by $100 a month every year. And so it was not keeping pace with the cost. The costs are going up, and I choose not to go back to work, and I choose not to lower my standard of living. In fact, I seek to increase my leisure and style of living. And that was easy to do because there are so many countries where the cost of living is a lot less. The cost of here, healthcare is such a major part of our cost of what eats at our monthly dollars, because that's not the case in most free countries that have affordable healthcare. They also have affordable living spaces. The place that I selected is less than where I live now, which is a 1 bedroom, and I'm going to a 2 bedroom with an ocean view, fully furnished. And that is not rare uh, in a lot of places. In fact, all the places that I looked at, uh, that was the case where I could go into a larger uh, accommodations, sometimes nicer accommodations. Well, certainly at the level that I am now, but the level I am now are even nicer accommodations for less than what I'm paying right now. And I get excited when I when I say that, because my place is just what I wanted. Uh, let's see. So I got health care. I got safety. I got what the dollar, because uh, the U.S. dollar is strong in several countries, in the countries that I'm considering, the dollar buys more. And so I not only will I be able to afford more luxury items, I also will be able to afford to save and continue to travel. And let's see. It's late, so I gotta look at my list again. Okay, it's safe, it's affordable, good health care. Are the people, oh, entertainment. Entertainment and community. And I say entertainment, it's not a vacation thing. Uh, but community. Community is really important for Black seniors, because this is the first time where we're putting ourselves first. And we have the time to have coffee, do book clubs, maybe even do distance running. I know that's not something that comes up a lot, but I've done distance running in the past, and it's something that I'd like to get back into. And so that was one of my things on my checklist. Will I be able to bike, run, and swim in my new place? So it has to be good climate. It wasn't important for me to be in a place where it's warm 365 days a year. I like seasons. I do. I like winter, spring, fall. Um, so that wasn't the case for me. But for some people who live in the north and grew up where it was cold most of the time, that's a big deal. They want to go where it's always warm, and that's available. That is readily available. But it wasn't the case for me. But the place that I picked happens to be right on the equator, and so it is going to be around 80 degrees most of the year. Let's see. So I got weather, altitude, all those things you look at, safety, car, transportation. I wanted to go and live where I did not have to have a car. I am so excited about not needing a car. So that means I don't pay a car payment, insurance, upkeep. I don't pay to garage a car as I do here and now. And I don't need a car. I wanted a location that was walkable, that I could walk to most things, or the mass transportation was affordable and safe. And so, again, several places. The U.S. probably will never, well, I will not say, I won't say never, but I doubt that the U.S. will ever have a great mass transportation, because we are known to the world as one of the last places where the car industry can make money, because everybody has a car. Some people have two cars. Most families have two or three cars. And the powers that be don't want to give that up. And so our mass transportation in my lifetime has never reached the state where you don't need a car. I don't want to drive. And when I was in Puerto Vallarta, I went everywhere I needed to go for less than, for about $3. $3 Uber or Lyft. $3. Safe, clean, registered cars and drivers, and friendly. grocery store where they not only the driver picked you up but loaded your bags. It was a shock. It was a shock. Loaded your bags and just so respectful and so safe. And so that was important. I wanted to be in a country where I could walk. I have a dog. I needed a dog friendly country, um, because that's important to me to take my animal with me. Uh, so I guess maybe I'm not a solo travel because he comes with me. But in any case, I do have a dog. So I had to make sure that I was going to a country that would let me bring my animal. And then I had to find out what are the regulations and the requirements for me to do that. Now, my situation and the reason that I decided to document it and on this YouTube channel is because the US visa can usually give me anywhere from 90 to 180 days in a lot of countries. Don't have to apply for citizenship. But I choose to have citizenship not only in this first country, but at least two others. So that it just gives me options and privileges. Because in some countries, Panama being one, the pensionata visa gives you discounts on transportation, discounts on in the grocery store, discounts in the restaurants, discounts in entertainment. I mean, it was really hard. It was Panama was way up there. It made the top three of where I was considering relocating because of all the benefits of the retirement visas, the pensionata visas. One of the reasons I picked the country that I picked is that the ease of getting a visa. You have to show that you will not be a financial burden on that country, that you will not be on their welfare system. So you have to prove that you can afford to live there. And some countries, that monthly income or that investment is quite high. Uh, and every country has a right to set that level. And so you just comply with that country's rules because you're a visitor there. So I wanted one that my income met the visa requirement for a resident because I'm going to apply. I am applying. I've already started the process. I not only want to live there for the 6 months, but possibly a year, couple of years. And so I wanted the experience of doing that for myself and so that I can teach others. I can inform others of what it takes to live in that particular country. So let's see. I'm tired. I have fulfilled my commitment to come on and do a long video and not just a short. Oh, I haven't revealed the country. I am going to, drum roll, Ecuador. I am going to Manta, Ecuador. And it met all of those qualifications. There is a thriving, growing community of people my age, seniors, retirees, who look like me. We enjoy the same music and the same entertainment, and it just was. I checked off everything on my list. It's easy. Well, I won't say it's easy to get a visa in everywhere, but it's one of the easier countries to get that visa. And in future broadcasts, if you're interested, and the only way I'll know you're interested is if you ask in the comments, what are the requirements for Ecuador? Then I will include that in the next broadcast. If you want to know um, anything about Manta, I could probably tell you because uh, of the extensive study. I was able to answer all of my relatives' questions and pretty much put their mind at ease that I had made a really, really good choice. And I'm really excited. It is very walkable. The people are very friendly. It is a peaceful city. It is a beautiful city. It is on um, it's the ocean. There's an ocean. I'm right near the ocean. My apartment has an ocean view. I'm very excited about that. Um, I am going to be able to host some of my friends and family because of the size, the food. Oh my gosh, I'm a foodie. That's a big one. Oh, I didn't say that. The food is very important to me. I want to get away from the preservatives. And even if you don't want to become an expat, and even if you don't want to live abroad, at least travel, spend time, do a vacation abroad, and realize how good food can taste when there's no preservatives. Like a party in your mouth. Tomatoes taste different. Meat tastes different. Better, not just different, better, because most of it is farm to table. Yeah, they picked it that morning, or that, yeah. So you don't need a lot of preservatives because they're not trying to give it a very long shelf life. It's going to be purchased and probably consumed that same day, and that's in the restaurants and that's in the grocery stores. So, and most uh, expats find that they lose almost a dress size or lose weight without even trying, eating more than they ate here. But the body knows what to do with food that does not have chemicals. Over here, your body, just think about it. If your body has to deal with the chemicals, it's going to be stressed out. You're either going to eat more because your brain, it doesn't register with your brain that you're satisfied. So you eat more than you need, or you don't eat as well nutritionally because nutrition wise because of the preservatives that are just a part of our life here in the US. So really excited that the report is that the food is excellent and affordable. Uh, and because I am in contact, I know people there who assisted me with finding my place to stay, um, a dentist, a doctor, all that I did on this end. I did before I left. So, and you want to do as much as possible before. You don't want to just show up at a place, not know anybody, and hope for the best. No, that's not mature. That's not being intelligent and wise. So, I have relationships with I was recommended an attorney. I don't have to figure out who is a reputable attorney because I have friends there who have used the attorney who currently that's their physician. This is their realtor. In fact, the person that found my place is a married couple. The woman's in real estate, has been in real estate, was in real estate in the U.S., and now is in real estate in Ecuador. And so that's that's why I think I've told you the why. The why is because I can. I can improve the quality of my health care. I can reduce the cost of my health care. I can improve the access to that health care. It is not uncommon for you to have the doctor's cell phone. Most of them don't have answering services, they answer their phone. And that is not uncommon in a lot of countries. Doesn't happen here. Talk to the answering service and hope you get a message from the doctor a lot of times. So I'm really, I got spoiled with that in Mexico last year. Actually went to the dentist, got 4 fillings uh, in 2 days. Went, did the total workup, x-rays, impressions, everything. Um, Left the office without paying a dime. Why? They said, because you're coming back tomorrow. Don't worry about it. Yeah, it happened. Just like that. State of the art facility, excellent doctor, totally satisfied with the work. So much cheaper that I didn't miss having insurance. It was less than what I would have paid uh, for my deductibles or whatever, and done so quickly. It would have been spread out here weeks and weeks and weeks. 4 fillings done in a day, very comfortably. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'm tired, so I am going to end now because I have a lot to do. I have a lot of stuff I still need to sell, donate, or give away. So if you're in the DFW area and you need you need a bed or dresser, dinette set or whatever, comment because I'm getting rid of all of it very soon. Nice leather sofa, lots of glassware and crystal, china, all the stuff that you accumulate that you're not going to haul and certainly not going to put in storage. Did that, never do that again. So until next time, I will be doing more shorts. Uh, in the countdown. So this is the first long video. I hope to do another one before I leave. Uh, to get there, I'm pretty savvy when it comes to using airline points. So the trip is very affordable. Uh, Ecuador, just to put in perspective where it is, I said on the equator. It's near, if you know where Panama is, Ecuador is, I think, about 2 hours from Panama. It sits right between Colombia and, it's near Colombia. It's also near Colombia. Okay, I'm tired. I'm going to quit. So, until next time, I got a lot of packing to do, a lot of downsizing to do, and a few more procedural things to do when it comes to getting my visa. Oh, so if you want to know what the requirements are, what the challenges are, and I've run into quite a few challenges over here in terms of receiving the correct information. But I got it done. Or waiting for different things to be processed. So if you're interested in how far out you need to start if you're going to apply for residency, once again, I want to say you can visit those most countries where the U.S. passport is welcome and stay 90 days, 180 days, just flying in and getting the tourist visa at the airport. No preparation at all, or very little. You may have to be Some countries you may have to show that you have been vaccinated for COVID. It just depends on the country. But yeah. So I'm signing off, and stay. I'm supposed to like, comment, subscribe. That's how I know that you find any value in this. If you like, comment, and subscribe, then I will make the effort to continue on a somewhat regular basis, because I do want to grow the channel. I know that it fills a void, and there was a void of information focused on the needs of seniors, black seniors, black women, black men, especially black women who wanted to ask questions that they would not feel comfortable asking in other groups. So I've had a couple of videos. I had my first viral video that went viral, being interviewed in someone else's group. And that's great. That's motivation, because I know there are tons of seniors who had no idea that there were that many of us living that life, and more than happy to tell you how they did it, to tell you their mistakes, to tell you their victories, just to advise you. It's a wonderful sisterhood of exchange of information and assistance in terms of telling you the right attorneys, and referring you to the right professionals, and what to expect. So, that being said, I think I've signed off 3 times. Grew up in a Baptist church, so Methodist too. So, it would end several times before it actually end. Well, it ends now. So good night.